Hello class 8. Now I'm starting with the second part of the nervous system today. We have learned about the brain and its various structures and functions last day. Now I'm starting with the second part of the CNS, that is spinal cord. You must know the spinal cord is an extension of the medulla oblongata, which we have learnt last day. That medulla oblongata is the last part of the hindbrain. So from there only the spinal cord starts. It is a thick dorsal neural tract that starts from brain stem and extends to the lower back, covered by the vertebral column. Okay, so brain stem is the starting of the spinal cord. So it is the thick dorsal means the back part of our body, neural tract, that means it's a group of nerves from brain stem and extends to the lower back, which is covered by the vertebral column, which we call as the backbone. Now what is the function of spinal cord? It is the pathway for nerve impulses. It is also responsible for reflex actions, and it also controls all the involuntary actions. That means those actions which are not under our control, which is not under our will. Now what is this reflex action? We need to know. Reflex action is a quick involuntary response in which spinal cord is involved. That means all the involuntary response, like suppose we are touching a hot object and immediately we are removing our hands. So this is the involuntary action, and it's a very quick automatic action which we show towards that particular stimulus. So that is a reflex action. We don't need to think about it. We are naturally withdrawing our hand from that hot object. So that is the reflex action, right? Or another example you can also get, closing of eyes when sudden light falls on it. I think you have noticed this, that whenever some sudden flash of light is falling on your eyes, you suddenly close your eyes, you close your eyelids. So that is, again, we are doing it without thinking. So that is the reflex action. Now there is a path which this reflex action follows, and that is reflex arc, the path followed by the nerve impulse in a reflex action. This is the path of nerves that is being followed by the nerve impulse or the electrical impulse in a reflex action. We call it as reflex arc. I hope it's clear. Now after the CNS, another part of the nervous system is PNS, that is peripheral nervous system. This peripheral nervous system means all the nerves which are coming out from the brain and spinal cord. Whatever nerves are coming out from the brain and spinal cord, all are PNS. Okay, and that is why we can divide those nerves into two types: cranial nerves and spinal nerves. Cranial nerves consist of sensory nerves, motor nerves, mixed nerves, which we have already read in the last class, and spinal nerves consist of only the mixed nerves. Now we have to know the number. Cranial nerves are 12 pairs and spinal nerves are 31 pairs. And this PNS is composed of nerves and ganglia. Nerves means, a group of neurons which are bundled together and are covered by a fat membrane or a lipid sheath. And ganglia is the cluster or group of cyton of neurons. Last day I have shown you the picture of a neuron, and we have also shared that there are two main parts of the neuron. One is cyton, another is axon. So cyton, that is the cell body, the soma. Okay, when the group of soma or cell bodies aggregate together, we call it as ganglia. So PNS is composed of nerves and ganglia. So this we must remember. Okay, now PNS can be divided broadly into, again, two types. One is somatic nervous system, another is autonomic nervous system. Again, autonomic nervous system can be divided into sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Now what is this somatic nervous system? This is involved with all the voluntary actions of our body. Voluntary means those which are under our will. We can control those actions. It is responsible for conscious and voluntary actions. That means whatever we are doing by knowing, Okay, and it includes all the motor neurons. And autonomic nervous system means which is automatic, which is involuntary. It is responsible for activities which are not under our conscious control. We cannot control those actions which are not under our will. It consists of motor neurons that goes to cardiac muscles, smooth muscles, and glands. Cardiac muscles, heart. Smooth muscles also important for involuntary actions, and the glands, glandular contraction and relaxation we cannot control. So all the automatic, autonomic, and uncontrollable actions are performed by this autonomic nervous system. Now this autonomic nervous system consists of two types, sympathetic and parasympathetic. And you must know, you must remember this thing, that the action of sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system is just the opposite. Okay, sympathetic prepares the body for emergency situation, any situation which is, which is a sudden situation, which is an emergency situation which needs immediate action, that is being controlled by sympathetic. Whether we can fight or flight, whether we can fight the situation or whether we will flew away from the situation, that means we don't want to face the situation, that is being brought about by sympathetic nervous system. And parasympathetic nervous system means rest and digest response. That means when stress ends, when the emergency situation ends, it takes action and normalizes all the functions. So that is the action of parasympathetic nervous system. Like here you see sympathetic, this system takes necessary actions. That means, just now I have said you, whether we will face the situation or we will not face the emergency situation, that is being brought about by sympathetic nervous system. Example I have given you, like dilates pupil. Pupil is inside our eye. It dilates pupil. It accelerates heartbeat. That means it increases the heartbeat. It also increases the breathing rate. Okay, and parasympathetic, you see, it just the opposite action. Just now I have said you, it contracts the pupil of the eyes, it promotes digestion, it slows the rate of heartbeat, and also it slows down the breathing rate. That means they are acting just in an opposite way. Okay, so this is all about your nervous system. So we are done with the two control and coordination systems of our body. One is endocrine, another is nervous. Please go through your textbook and this notes of mine, and I think it will help you. Thank you.